What is happening, guys? I'm making this game, Jacob's Ladder. It's an interesting twist on the philosophical puzzler, story-based kind of game with some dreamy and trippy and almost scary elements. I'm really excited about it, and the plan is to get it out on Steam this year, and way before then, start doing public playtesting soon. So the reason you should watch this video is to see what might be available for you to play very soon on Steam. You can also play the demo on Steam right now. It's like a pared down version of what the early access phase will be like, showing off what the core gameplay will look like. So that's the plan for what's going to happen this year. Let's look back on the last 6 weeks and see what I got done. So I actually want to pop open my Jira project. This is where I do my tasking, kind of with the producer hat on, and then where I go and complete the work as like the game designer or the client engineer, because it's just me and I'm all those things. Rework collectible names and visuals. The existing collectibles remain fine functionally, but they make no sense with the story redesign. So up to this point, I've been using collectibles that just looked cool or were going to serve the function for a very early alpha test build. I needed sort of a set of currency that can work together with a new VR sim dreamlike state that you're going to be in while you're performing the puzzles. And these are the visuals that I'm parked at for now to complete this task. I've got the main currency. You get like a bundle of currency for completing the puzzles themselves. So this is what that looks like. There's a very small version you get. You can just pick it up as you go. It's like a single point of that currency. And then here's what the weird one looks like that you get for completing challenge puzzles. There's another type of collectible that you get when you complete like a set of puzzles that will let you travel to the next hub world, which is going to be another set of levels, which I'll talk about later. I wanted that moment to really take you away from the game for a second to show how significant that achievement is, since it won't happen that many times during the game. So this task also covered setting up some of the back end for running those kind of animations, turning off the input, doing stuff with the camera, showing effects, and sort of sequencing it all together so that I could end up with, a nice, pleasing rewards presentation. Get robot model alterations from DI. And DI, if I'm saying your name wrong, then I'm sorry. I have only spoken with you, never spoken with you. I've only chatted with you in messages, so sorry if I'm butchering that. There is a great modeler, rigger, texture artist on Fiverr who did a wonderful job with the first pass of these robot models that have been used in the game up till now. The mechanics have changed significantly with the way that cores work, such that I don't really want them to be held in the character's hand. I want them to go sort of into the character. Gave that a little bit more thought, and now that the robots don't need to be physically, make total sense, now that we're in kind of a sim environment, they can look however they want. So I told DI, can we just bore out a hole in them, and then the orb will just slot straight into their chest? He came through just like last time with the original pass on the robots and ended up with this, which I'm really happy with. Add more heat to colored sides or triangles of blocker fields that you can currently walk through. So yeah, I noted down some major problems with the game. I know that this is stuff that I could bring to public playtesting, but would probably just get repeated over and over. So I'm going to address it now, which is, it's been a problem since the beginning of the game, and I'm trying to make it work. So this is not the first pass I've done to make these. The phase fields is what they're called in the game, but internally I call them blocker fields. Try to make them make more sense. And something that came up several times in earlier testing and then also in some Steam reviews from the demo is that when you see a big wall of color, there's no great correlation that as long as you're holding the core of that color that you can actually walk through the wall. So I wanted something that's more dynamic, responds to the core that you have selected in a way that's visually obvious in the world, and then also sort of opens the gate, opens the phase field in a way that makes it clear that you can walk through while also still showing the color of the phase field, because I didn't want to lose that information. The tougher part of this was setting up the two-way phase fields, which have always been a UX nightmare. There's a lot of information that I want to present at all times, while also just, without words, showing that you might be able to walk through one side of these things and not come back. And as you can see, while you add cores, remove cores, select different cores, the phase field is going to present different information in those contexts. So I'm hoping, we'll see, I'm hoping that it feels more like you can walk through this side or that side, and that it indicates on a per side basis. We'll find out. This is just my pass that I did for that. And finally, the big one. This is the one I have been working on kind of in the background of all the other ones. It's the main push, the main thrust for the early access build, the playtest build that is. And that is changing up the theme of the game, taking everything out of the basement that the demo lives in, putting it into a context that the player wants to be in, that's engaging. And I want to be able to do more with the environments in general. I knew that I wanted these like grouped sets of themed levels that have something to do with the mechanics, how they introduce them, how I teach them, that sort of thing. So I dug into a lot of different technologies for this. It's a big list, and I had a lot of things I wanted to just see if I could even get done. And I learned a lot, and I found a lot of really sick tech that is now in the game. I'm using a tool called World Creator to make amazing terrains that I don't even fully understand how it works, but I don't really need to. I just need to know how to work it, right? A big part of the lift was seeing how quickly and effectively I could set up worlds that feel like they have some amount of atmosphere. So I had to do a little bit of deep dive into audio. I didn't want to go too deep with this. I just wanted to see how hard is it? Can we make it somewhat convincing that the player is on a beach? So I settled on this great water system, had to learn the ins and outs of it, but by the end of it, I had these results, which I'm really happy with. The player can even walk into the water to create ripples, and the real-time planar reflections really sell it, I think. So you can see the sun, the clouds reflected off the water. You can also see objects in the distance. I ended up incorporating this water technology into the first hub level. I wanted there to be some tie between them, and I just love walking through kind of a reflective pool-like area. A lot of things to figure out on the functionality side. Now I have force fields that will sit between these fenced areas that when you walk into one side, it sort of registers that you're in this puzzle, and I have hooked up puzzle data with IDs on the back end, and then it can also tell when you walk through the other side you're out of the puzzle. Another hurdle with that is that suddenly the player could just run into a puzzle area and grab a core and go to a different puzzle area and break the whole thing. So I just used the events that I set up before, where something can know if the player picks up a core or puts down a core. So this blocker field, this phase field rather, can stay locked while you have any cores in your stack. And then when you put down the last core in your stack, when your stack is totally empty, only then will it let you into the puzzle area or out of the puzzle area. So stress tested this a little bit with like trying to get around it. And it seems, at least now, that you can't possibly leave a puzzle area with any extra cores that would mess up other puzzles or bring cores from outside the puzzles into them. And finally, another hurdle of this was that I had always assumed that I would have one puzzle inside of one level. This kind of bit me in the butt, because now that I had multiple puzzles per level with things that are expensive to render in them, but also those extra fences, those extra things that I added to make them sit in the world properly. Those things were running logic every frame. They were also rendering all the time. There's a great system for Unity called frustum calling that does stuff with the camera in order to enable and disable objects dynamically. For now, I'm just doing this based on camera distance, so certain things kind of pop out or pop in as you approach levels. I'm going to leave it like this for now because the performance benefit is noticeable. I can turn off the expensive screens and blocker field effects that I have going right now, turn them on when you're about 50 meters away. I can do this with characters as well. Characters are very expensive to render, just the skinned mesh renderer system that Unity uses, so I need to turn them off whenever the information is not relevant. If you've watched this far, I think this game is for you, or you should at least try it out. The demo is available, like I said, on Steam. You can play it right now. Nowhere near where the early access build will be, but it's at least available right now. You should jump into the Discord server. You can honestly just lurk there, turn off your notifications, whatever. That is where the playtest info will be. So you'll be able to play the game for free. Pretty much all the progress I have so far, along with help shape the game, provide your feedback, tell me what's broken, tell me what's fun, that sort of thing, in the Discord with the playtest, which is coming soon. As usual, I can't slow down. I gotta get this game done, so I'm gonna go keep working on it, and I will talk to you guys next time. See ya!